Hey, this your boy J Ray back with another video, back with another live stream, and today is Tech Tuesday, so welcome to the stream. Um, Today is a day that I specialize, that I just kind of sit back and I talk to you guys about what's going on in the tech community, tech news, things that interest me, just basically stuff that I really find interesting per se. One of the things that I'd like to talk about today, um, well, there's several things I'd like to talk about, but let's get the other stuff out the way first. One of the things that I'd like to talk about is the new aspect ratio 18 by 9 that Samsung's coming out with the new Note 8 series. We had talked about this. If you look at Team 100 chat on YouTube with Forbes Tech Reviews, the Tech Gentleman, Reggie U, great guys. And they asked me, the question was posed, do I see Apple going this route, and what do I think about it? I'm not a fan of kind of like the taller phones. I don't know. There was a meme where it showed the new iPhone when the iPhone 5 came out, and they were like, "Oh, look, it's the iPhone 10," and the iPhone 10 was like this huge, and it was just long and like that wide. Um, so, that being said, I'm good with the ratio that it is now, because I would rather have something like this, that's a little bit better fitting in my pocket, and it's still got a good screen. Now, if they could keep the form factor and do the whole screen in a 16 by 9 ratio, that would be fine, because most media that you consume is 16 by 9. So I really like that, and just being able to keep the form factor. The final design of the Note 8, I cannot understand why Samsung would keep the fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone by the camera when everybody complained about that during the last, when the Galaxy S8 come out. You seen people was like, man, this fingerprint placement is really horrible. So maybe it was the fact that Samsung couldn't change the design as fast to allow for there to be a change in the placement of the fingerprint sensor. But still, I think that's really bad. I mean, I understand Samsung. You got Face Unlock, you got Pen Unlock, you got all these different ways to unlock your phone with Samsung. But the fact of the matter is that I like using a fingerprint sensor, because it's a little bit more secure to me. I mean, Pen Unlock, yeah, that's okay, but a fingerprint sensor is just faster and more reliable to me than seeing Samsung, than having it somewhere where it's just hard to access. I don't really get that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about today is the Apple rumor of the Apple Watch Series 3 coming out. I'm looking forward to that, especially if it checks your blood sugar levels, and it's faster. Of course, it's going to be faster. It's going to have faster processors, more RAM, more memory, more battery, hopefully. So the main reason that I'm really excited for it, a lot of y'all don't know, but my wife is a diabetic, and the less that she has to test her blood sugar, and by test I mean having to prick herself with a needle, or having to buy the test strips and stuff like that, because that stuff's expensive, and a lot of times the insurance will not help with that. They'll help buy the meter, but the test strips are pretty expensive. They're like $30 for I think 100 of them, or 150. I think it depends on your meter. But still, the fact of the matter is, pardon me, guys, Um, the fact of the matter is if she can put on that Apple Watch and it'll measure her sugar levels without her having to prick herself, basically non-invasive, then that's a win-win. Um, and I gotta say, as far as smartwatches go, the Samsung Galaxy Gear S3 is probably the closest one that even comes to competition with Apple as far as that goes. And I can't understand why Android Wear, why Google just seems like it kind of abandoned Android Wear. Like it's taken so long for Android Wear 2.0 to come out, and then the fact that Android Wear 2.0 will not be coming out to any and every watch that launched with Android Wear, and that's just sad. That's sad, Google. It really, really is. One of the other things that I want to talk about is home automation. Again, this goes back to the Team 100 chat that we had, and I was asked about home automation and what I felt about it and what I thought about it. So if you're looking to get into home automation, the first thing I would say is really look at what ecosystem you're in. If you're in Google, if you're in Amazon, if you're in Microsoft, if you're in Samsung, uh, if you're in Apple. Because the reason I say that is even though I have a Nest thermostat, Siri cannot control. I got an app on my phone through Apple that I can adjust, the Nest app. I have that on my phone. But Siri cannot see, I guess is the better word, the Nest thermostat because Google doesn't want to work with it and stuff like that, right? But if I got an Ecobee, if I swapped out and I got an Ecobee thermostat, then Siri would work with it. It would work with Siri's HomeKit system. Um, so that would be my first thing. That would be my first advice in home automation is that I would start out with the thermostat because the thermostat really has helped us save money in the long run by having it because it adjusts automatically. I can adjust it when I'm on my way home. There's just so many things that I'm able to do with that thermostat not that I'm not able to do because with a traditional thermostat, the temperature's got to set to here or it's got to do this or whatever. With the Nest thermostat, I can say, okay, I want you to set here and here, and when I'm gone, it automatically shuts off. And it's preset to a certain temp that I set that I want the house to reside at. So if when I leave the house in the middle of summer, if I want the house to say stay 76 inside, then while I'm gone and it's on eco mode, it'll keep the house at 76. Then when I come home, it'll drop the temperature down to say 70 degrees. You know, so that's really cool. The next thing that I want to add is the Philips Hue lights, and I've said this before in my stream. A lot of people don't realize that, I'm thinking of when me and my wife are older, where we're not able, where our mobility isn't that great. We have a hard time getting around, stuff like that. So what I ended up doing was said, well, okay, so I got the thermostat, so I can adjust it and do it from the couch, or if I have a hard time going from the couch to the bedroom or something, or even walking period, I can adjust that thermostat through the app. The other thing that with the Hue lights is that if it's the middle of the night and I need to go to the kitchen to get a glass of water, I can tell Siri to turn on the kitchen lights, and Siri will turn on the kitchen lights, or turn on the hall light, or turn on the living room light, or turn on the bedroom light or whatever. And then when I get ready and I get back in bed, I can say, okay, turn off all the lights, and she'll turn off all the lights. The other thing that I have, I do not have the Hue lights yet, the Philips Hue lights. I'd really like to try them out. Philips, if you're listening, I'd love to do a review on them. But the other thing that I like is I got door locks on the front of my house, and that actually ties into my security system. And the security system that I have, I enjoy it. It's really, really good. But I can go on the app on my phone and lock the door, unlock the door, see who rang the doorbell, talk to whoever is at my front door, give instructions, whatever I need to do. I can say, yeah, come on in, set it right inside the door, or, hey, I see you, get away from my house, I'm calling the cops, whatever. So that's really, really beneficial to us. And I would say if you want to start out with home automation, there are some companies out there like Vivint, like ADT, and stuff like that, and check them out and see what kind of packages they offer in your area that's going to allow you to get a really big jump in home automation and be able to really help you to get started in that area so that you can see the benefits. Because I don't want to, when I get older, I don't want to have to worry about falling or being able to have help right there, or being able to call for help or make a phone call or anything like that. Or if somebody comes up to my door and I'm having a hard time, I can unlock the door, or I can tell them, hey, look, I'm not feeling well, just leave it there and I'll get it in a minute. Pardon me, guys. Whew. Man, that breakfast, I had breakfast for supper and it was good. It was real good. But that being said, it's one of those things that I look at, that I say, hey, this is something that's going to be beneficial to me later on down the road. This is something that I'm able to really see the benefits of it now. Now, that being said, with the Apple Home speaker coming out, I don't know if they're going to make that, where it'll work with the Apple TV or anything like that. And I got a tip for you guys. If you have a Roku stick, an Amazon Fire Stick, a Roku TV, Fire TV, Chromecast, or Apple TV, there is a setting on your TV. And what will happen is, like with the Apple remote, with the Apple TV remote, I can control the volume and the power on and off to turn my TV on and off, right? What I like is there is a setting on your TV that when you press the power button to your Android device, or to your Fire Stick, or to your Roku, or like to my Apple TV, then the TV will automatically turn on, and it will go to that input, and it will automatically, you'll see your TV come on with whatever device you're using, whether it's Roku, Fire Stick, or Chromecast, or whatever. Now, what's really cool, and I'm hoping Apple implements this, is if you have a Google Home. If you have a Google Home, you can tell it, you can say, hey, Google, I want you to play the latest MKV HD video on the living room TV. It will actually, and if you have your TV set up like I was talking, where your TV senses the input and it automatically turns on, it will actually find that video on your Chromecast. Your TV will turn on, and it will actually throw that. I don't know why that popped up, but it will actually throw that video on your living room TV just from using your voice, which I think is really cool. So I'm really hoping that the the Apple AirPod with the Apple TV will be able to do that. I'm hoping Siri will be more integrated between my iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, and whatever iOS device I have. I'm hoping that she will be more integrated into that stuff, so that way I can just say, Siri, turn on the TV for PlayStation View, and she'll turn it on. She'll know exactly what I mean. She'll turn it on. Because one of the things, I like the Amazon Fire Stick. I think for a streaming player and the fact that it has Alexa on it, and you can ask Alexa anything. I think the fact that it has that on it, and it's all for $40 is really, really awesome. And it's just the fact that, the one thing that I didn't like about the Fire Stick is great. It has tons of apps, tons of movies, tons of everything. It's really, really inexpensive. But the thing that I didn't like about it was it did not have a universal remote built into it where I can control the volume of my TV. I can power my TV on and off. And those were big deals to me because I don't want to have to fiddle with two different remotes. I did not want to have one remote for the volume and then have another remote just to change whatever I'm, fast forward and rewind, stuff like that. I wish that they would have made their remote more like that, where it had an IR blaster or something built in, where it would be universally compatible with no matter what TV you had. Same with Chromecast. Chromecast is cool, but there's a couple of things that I don't like about Chromecast. The fact that number one, that I have to use my phone to control it. But with Google Home, that kind of eliminates that. I wish that the way you control Chromecast with Google Home is the same way I can control Chromecast with my phone. I wish I could speak to the Google Assistant, tell Google Assistant what I want to watch on my TV, and it pops up. And I'd be watching it right then and there. That would be a lot more helpful to me. Google could have even packaged like a little bitty tiny remote and put just a small menu on it or something, where it would just be super, super easy to use, instead of how they did it. I mean, and I understand it. I understand why Google did it. I mean, you're only paying, you can catch a Chromecast on sale for $25. $25 is really, really inexpensive, especially if you're already in the Android ecosystem and you're a college student who don't have a lot of money, or you just moved out of your parents' house and you got your own place for the very first time and you don't have a lot of money. You could buy 2 Chrome sticks for dang near the price of one Fire Stick, or one Roku stick, But then again, if you save your money and you got $50, you can save $10 and go with the Amazon Fire Stick that has a menu, that has a layout, or you can go and purchase an actual Roku box to sit on there. Of course, on Apple, if you're moving out or you're financially strapped, Apple's not really going to be your best bet at that point in time for watching TV and getting your programming and stuff. So there's good things and bad things about each streaming device, but it all fits into the major hub. So that hub being your smart home, and I would like to be able to where you can pick an assistant and choose which assistant you want to use, whether it's Siri, Google Assistant, Alexa, Bixby, Cortana, whatever, where you can choose this one assistant, and this one assistant can help you with everything in your house. You know, that's a major win for me, because when I can tell Siri to unlock the front door and she unlocks the front door because my wife's coming in with groceries and I'm busy with something else, that's really helpful. Or if I have my groceries full and I got my AirPods in, I can say, Siri, unlock the garage door, and she unlocks the garage door, and I just walk right on in. I'm not having to fumble with the key. I'm not having to put in any codes. I'm not having to do any of that. It's just a lot easier. And I think people get intimidated by the fact that, this smart home thing, man, I don't want anybody looking or knowing or anything like that. But when you kind of break it down and say, okay, but here's what it can do, here's the aspect of it, here's how it can help you, and especially, senior citizens, when you get older, you're just not able to do the things that you used to do. You can't move around like you used to. Maybe your hearing's not as good as it used to be. Maybe your eyesight is not nearly as good as it used to be. You get sick a lot more. Your body is just not able to fight off and do the things that it used to do when you were 20, 30, 40, 50, even 60 years old. So having a smart home, what I think about, and I think about my grandmother, how my grandmother they came home, there was an emergency, and my uncle knocked on the door, and my grandmother went to get up, and she slipped and fell and broke her hip, and after that she didn't really recover from that, because and it took her independence from her, because then she was staying in a elderly home, in a senior home, and it was disheartening, because she wasn't able to stay at her own house. But if we think ahead, we have the technology, like I was saying, with the hue lights, with the lock, with stuff like that. If my uncle knocked on the door, she could have unlocked the door. She could have told her assistant, "Hey, who's at the front door?" Or she could have, an icon would have came up on her phone. She could have looked at her phone or looked at her Alexa deal that had the TV monitor in it. She could have looked at that. "Hey, phone tech, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining." But she could have looked at the monitor that, sits beside her bed, and seen who was at the front door with the doorbell ringer that's got the camera in it. She could have seen that. Then she could have said, "Hey, Google or Siri, turn on the bedroom light," and turned on the bedroom light. She could have looked down. She could have put her slippers on. She could have went to the door, opened the door, or she could have said, "Okay, I'm unlocking the door." She could have unlocked the door. My uncle could have went in, got what he needed to get, and roll out. People don't, your independence when if I was able to stay in my house as an elderly person, it would be such less of a burden on me, because I don't know if you've ever visited a senior citizen center, but I don't like going there, bottom line. It's kind of disheartening to me. I don't like seeing it. I don't like being there, because I want to stay in my home as long as I can. I want to be able to stay in my place of residence until I just absolutely, without a doubt, just absolutely without a doubt, do not want to go to that place until I just cannot function anymore. Yes, I am talking about home automation again. Yeah, and I do like it a lot. I really do. I think it's an avenue of tech that people really don't pay attention to and don't really see the benefits of it. Because, like I was saying, when you get older as a senior citizen, I want that independence. I want to be able to stay at my residence for as long as I can. And if I can talk to my assistant, whichever one, Siri or Google, and tell it to turn on the lights, tell it to unlock the door, tell the UPS guy, hey man, can you bring it inside, or whatever, then that's a benefit for me, and it allows me to stay safe, and allows me to stay in my home. Um, and that's what I'm saying. So if you're really looking to start out in the home automation, look at the security vendors. If you don't already have a security system on your house, look at some of them and see what they offer. Again, look at ADT, look at Vivint, that's Vivint. Look at them. Look into some Philips Hue lights. Look into either the Nest thermostat, the Ecobee thermostat. If you need security cameras, you can look at the Nest cameras. And now the Nest cameras inside and outside are really good cameras. They're a little expensive, but they are good cameras, and they will integrate with other security systems. So look at them. You can also, smart smoke alarms that give you carbon monoxide, that alert you on your phone, stuff like that. And me and my wife had talked about if we built a house, these are the type of things that I would put in our house, because it's one of those things that just it's one of those things that I see as being a benefit on down the line, where when your kids come home from school, I can see what's going on. I can unlock the door. I can see what time they come in or whatever, and make sure that they're safe, and tell them, hey, look, pull this out of the freezer, put it in the microwave, and I'll be home in a minute, or whatever. You can talk through the Nest speaker. I can tell somebody, hey, I see you, or what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I can do that. I can do it with the one that I have, and it's really beneficial. Because, like I said, we always talk about phones, we talk about computers, we talk about this stuff, but that's just one facet of it. The Google Home, Amazon Alexa, the I don't even know what they're going to call that speaker, but the Apple speaker. These are things that, man, really just it's the beginning. And what I mean by the beginning, it's the beginning of us not interacting with the internet, not interacting in tech that we normally interact with it. It's Apple, Google, and Amazon getting us used to having conversations with tech, having conversations with artificial AI, having conversations, and instead of typing and saying, okay, how much does a duckbill platypus weigh? I can ask, I can carry on a conversation where it's actually talking to me and saying, okay, well, how come you don't like this? Well, I don't like it because da-da-da-da-da. And then it talks back and it carries on a meaningful conversation, just like I would carry on a conversation with my wife or my friends or with you guys. Even sitting here live streaming and talking to you guys is kind of like talking to tech right now, because 20, 30 years ago, I could not have imagined doing this, having a video conference with people all over the state, all over America, all over the world. And it's really cool to see how much tech has manifested in just the short time that the microchip was invented. back in the, what was it, 60s or 70s. Um, okay, Google. When was the first microchip invented? Hey Siri, when was the first microchip invented? Okay, so I was off by 30 years. What's up, Easy? How you doing? I had my assistant in airplane mode because I was doing something. Okay, there we go. But so you take 1949 all the way up until now, 1959. Nah, let's see. Um, integrated circuit, date of invention, result 1949. Your Google told you that? Oh, that's awesome. But still, you look in from 1949 or 59. You look and see how far we've come along in that span of time. We went from computers that took up a whole room, that took reels that you had to interchange, or boards that you had to pull out, and now you look at it, we have that much power. We have that much power in a phone. You know, ooh, I got a new cat. Oh no, guys, I'm addicted to the Easter egg on here. I'm addicted to the nugget Easter egg. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That is awesome. But we have as much power in our phones as they did back in the 40s and 50s. You know, now you look at where we're going now. Where we're going now is, I think, and I've said this, I really think that phones in general are old tech. I think we're getting to where we're going to interact with our technology by voice only, and our technology is going to interact with us in a full blown AI conversationalist type deal. You know, like there's certain things, and I've seen it. You can look on YouTube. You can search this on YouTube and look at home automation. There are some really cool things that people did with home automation. For instance, okay, we already know that like Google and Siri, if you allow them to, they know when you leave, they know when you come home, they know, where you're going, where you've been, what you've been up to, stuff like that, right? Did you know that with the smart lights, with the Nest thermostat, with everything there, that it may come to the point that it knows in 10 minutes that you're going to be home from work, and it automatically starts cooling your house down or heating your house. Then it knows when you're 2 minutes away from home, it turns on the kitchen light and it turns on the TV in your house to the channel that you like watching. It's automatically there. Or you come home and you don't feel like watching that channel, and you tell it, you say, Google, turn it to Animal Planet, or Siri, I want to watch Food Network, and it's able to do that. You don't touch a remote. You don't do any of that. If the volume's too low, you say, hey, Siri, turn it up to volume 20, and it turns it up to volume 20. Or if it's too loud, you say, Google, turn it down to volume 10, and it turns it down to volume 10. The Lenovo Memo. Oh yeah, I hear you, man. Shoot. But you know, there's so many different uses for tech, so many different things that that the way we're currently interacting with tech is so archaic compared to where we're going. Because you got to think, when our kids get our age, you know, when your kids get 40 years old and, you know, you're 80 or you're 60 or something like that, think of the things that they're going to be doing with tech. You know, we argue on phone tech. We talk about, well, you know, this phone right here has got 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. Well, this phone right here has 6 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 835 processor. It's got wireless charging. Well, this iPhone that's coming out, it's gonna have a full 5.8-inch screen with wireless charging, new iOS 11. You know, we argue about specs, we argue about hardware, but really, that's kind of going away. You know, it's getting to the point to where now, do you really need a laptop? You know, do you really need a desktop? Look, you got the Samsung Galaxy Pad. What is that? Samsung Galaxy 7. I don't want to say iPad, but it's a tablet. The Samsung Galaxy 7 tablet. Samsung Galaxy 10 tablet. You got the Apple iPads. You got Google's Nexus 7 pad. You know, you got different tablets out there, and these tablets are really, really powerful. And then you also got to look at your information is being stored in the cloud. And everybody, well, I don't like the cloud. Okay, you don't like the cloud, but you like it when you go and buy another phone and you put your information in that phone and all your photos are there, all your music is there, all the apps that you like to use are there, everything's there, but you don't like the cloud. Okay, so why do I need a computer that's got 2 terabytes of hard drive if everything's going to the cloud? Why do I need a laptop that is limited on how I can carry it, how I can store it, how I can treat it, stuff like that, when I have a tablet that I can attach and detach a keyboard to? Case in point, look at the Microsoft Surface Pro. That thing right there, it's portable like a tablet, but yet gives you just as much power as a laptop. You can actually game on the thing, and it comes with a terabyte hard drive, and it's still in tablet form. I think the hardware argument that we have about phones, about tech, about this, I think that's really mute at this stage, at this point of where we're at in tech. I think that's a mute argument. I think that argument should die. I think the next thing that we should be talking about is how portable is it? How long is the battery life? What's the hard drive space in it? What's the processor in it? How long will the company support it with updates, software, and security stuff? You know, that's what we should be looking at, because eventually the way that we're going to interact with tech is not the same way that we're interacting with tech right now. Artificial intelligence is coming. As a matter of fact, artificial intelligence is already here. And a lot of you will say, well, Sub, what do you mean artificial intelligence is right here? If you use Siri, if you use Google Assistant, if you use Alexa, if you use Bixby, if you use Cortana, that's artificial AI. The only thing about it is that if you were to put it in human terms, artificial AI is probably about a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, maybe a 4-year-old level, where, you know, they can talk to you and they can do simple answers and they can do simple things and stuff, but they're not talking to you like an adult would talk to you, or like your teenager. You know, and what I mean by that is the cognitive responses, where they can sense when you're being funny, when you're being sarcastic, when you're in a bad mood, when you're in a good mood, stuff like that. They can't currently do that, but they're getting there. Hey, baby, they're getting there. so that's what we should be looking at, is really not, okay, this phone's better than this phone, or this computer's better than this phone. It should be, okay, which assistant works for me? Which assistant is going to be able to do the things that I wanted to do and interact with the stuff that I already have? That's the conversation that we should be having. That's the conversation that we should be looking at to have. Those are the things that to me are going to make the difference in how we interact with tech and what we do with tech. So guys, hit me up in the chat, hit me up in the comments, let me know what you think about anything that I've said, about the opinions that I've had, and how you feel on this subject. Because I really like to get your guys' input on how you feel about it, and where you see technology going, and where you see the future going. So that is something I really like to know. I'd really like to see if you feel the same way that I do as far as that goes. Oh, and while I'm waiting, I'm gonna get me a glass of water. Ooh. Again, I want to send a shout out to Phone Tech at Work, and I want to send a shout out to Easy from Easy Computer Solutions. Thank you so much for joining. But again, I just feel like that when we make those arguments about tech, when we talk about hardware, when we talk about when we argue about this software or that software, I kind of feel like it's a moot point. I feel like that we should be talking about the things that, okay, look, Google needs to improve this, or Apple needs to improve this, because there's going to come a point in time when there's going to be a newcomer that comes up, and their virtual assistant is so far above and beyond what Apple, Samsung, Google, and Microsoft and Amazon can come up with, that that's just going to be what everybody uses, and then everybody else is going to be scrambling to find something else, because the big players, Apple, Google, Amazon, stuff like that, eventually it's kind of like that with all corporations. They'll have a big rise and they'll peak out, and then all of a sudden there's going to be something else. Case in point, look at Walmart. Walmart's very, very big, but there are other stores that are coming up. Family Dollar, Dollar General, Target is eating a big chunk out of them. There's stores and stuff that used to people like Walmart because it gave them a deal. Now, there's a lot of people that don't like Walmart, so they go to these other stores because they have better quality, better stuff, better prices, stuff like that. So there's always going to be that aspect out there. And I feel like when it comes to tech, that there's something out there that we're just waiting to see. I'm waiting for the next Jarvis. I'm waiting for the next Bill Gates Microsoft creation. I'm waiting for the next Siri. I'm waiting for the next Google Assistant. I'm waiting for the next Amazon, because one of the things, and I kind of harken back to this, is like on Star Trek, the people interact with the computer, and the computer is, even though it's a TV show, but it's the way they interact with it, and the computer is like, oh yeah, well, here's my calculations, here's what I want, blah blah blah, and the guy's like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, we'll do this, turn this to this, and we'll do it like this. That's really cool. And the conversation that Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg were having about AI is going to kill everybody, AI is going to do this, AI is going to do that. I don't feel that way because AI is only as good as the humans that program it. Everything has to be programmed by a human. And even if AI was to say able to write its own code, you can still have a failsafe on it, in it, installed, whatever. You know, that's the thing about it. You know, is that there there shouldn't be just this overwhelming fear. I don't think, you about tech, about the future of tech. You really shouldn't just have any fear of anything like that, anyways. You know, um, and you're always going to have people, that reject technology, that don't want to have that in their life, that don't want to be, you know, that involved with technology. And then you're going to have people like myself who look at the cutting edge, can't afford the cutting edge, but gets the next best thing, So we, you're always going to have two forms of the extreme, and then you're going to have everybody else that's kind of middle of the road. That's just how it goes. Some people want the best of everything. Some people just want to stay where they are in a certain area because they're used to it and they like it. And nothing's wrong with that at all. But that being said, I mean, it's I watched a video where it was Bixby, Google Assistant, Alexa, and Siri all got together and they were doing a rap battle. And man, Alexa and Bixby really blew my mind in what they were able to do in that rap battle. Google, Siri, no. But I'm expecting with iOS 11 to come out, I'm expecting there to be more improvements to Siri. Same with Google O, with Oreo, or whatever they're going to call it, that's coming out. I'm expecting to see improvements with Google Assistant. Of course, these assistants are only going to get better because they're fighting for space in your home. They're fighting for space in your ecosystem. Some people really like Google Assistant and the way it's able to help them in what they do every day, day to day. Me, myself, I prefer Siri. Siri helps me in a lot of things that I do day to day. And I really appreciate that because Google sometimes doesn't really understand me. Siri seems to understand me a little bit more. But who's to say in 20 years from now I'll still be using that? Who's to say next week that I'll still be using that? I could get mad at Siri or mad at Apple, and I could switch over to my Nexus. There we go. I could switch over to my Nexus and say, well, I'm going to use this, and that's what I'm going to use. And then I'm like, oh, well, I really like Google. I'm switching everything to Google. I'm doing that. And I'd be fine with it, But that's kind of the thing, is that tech is like anything else. You're going to have stuff that you really, really like, and you're going to have stuff that you don't like. And there's good and bad on all things tech. There's certain aspects of Microsoft that are really good. There's certain aspects of Google that are really good. There's certain things of Apple that are good. There's Amazon. Certain things on Amazon that are good. And that's great. And use what you like. Use what's easiest for you to use. And don't, the biggest thing is don't be a basher. Don't say, well, that Apple this or Google that or blah, 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 because that conversation, those battles are going to be done and away with like here really, really soon. Because like I said, then it's going to come down to the assistant. Man, I really like Siri's personality. Man, I like Google's assistant I like the way Google Assistant tells jokes and she keeps me laughing all day. And I really wish Google would rename Google Assistant and name her Gloria or something like that. Where you can say, "Hey Gloria, tell me what the weather is," or whatever. Or even allow you to name it whatever you want. But still, the fact of the matter is, it's what you like. It's what works for you in your area, in your ecosystem. That's just the thing. That's just the thing about it. It's not that one is better than the other. It's that one performs better for you than another one does. It's the fact that, okay, you may not like Dodge Challengers because you don't like the way there's not a good traction control system on it. But the Mustang works for you because it's got really good traction control and you're able to launch right off the line. Well, Bob over there don't like either one of them. He likes Tesla because Tesla can go 0 to 60 in 2 something seconds and has great traction control and doesn't use an ounce of gas. You see, so that's the thing about it. It's not what everybody else thinks. It's what's more useful for you in your situation. Because when we fanboy, and everybody's a fanboy of something, everybody has bias about something or someone or an opinion on something or someone. We all have bias, but we have to remember that even though we may be biased, that other people don't have the same attitude as us. Other people like different things. Just because both of you like apple, one of you may like the color red and the other one likes the color blue. There's no reason to debate that. And that's what I'm saying about debating about the phones. The debating about the phones and the hardware and the tech, to me, that's null and void. Let's talk about assistants. Let's talk about what Siri's doing that Google's not. Let's talk about what Google's doing that Bixby's not. Those are the things. Those, to me, are the deeper conversations. Those are the conversations that really pique my interest right now. I mean, yeah, I can look the new Moto Z. Moto Z Force released today. Nice phone. It's got a smaller battery than the original had. It's a little thinner than the original, but it's got a new dual edge camera. Okay, that's great. That's fine. It's running an 835 processor. It's got 6 gigs of RAM. I believe it's 6 gigs, maybe 4 gigs. It's got all the Moto mods, everything like that. Okay, that's great. It's got a shutterproof camera. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's still running Google Assistant. So I can still use Google Assistant no matter what Android phone I have. And that's great. But it's what that assistant does for you. It's what you're able to do with that assistant. It's the things that you're able to control with that assistant. And that's one of the things, that I was saying about the thermostats. When you're looking into home automation, when you're looking at the thermostat, make sure it works with whatever assistant that you're using, so that way you can show your wife or your kids, or show your friends when they walk into your apartment or something, and somebody says, "Man, it's a little cold in here," and you can say, "Google, adjust the temperature to 74 degrees." Okay, turning the thermostat up to 74 degrees. Or you got your Amazon Echo, over there sitting on the counter, and you say, "Hey Alexa, turn the heater up to 75," or "Hey Alexa, it's a little warm in here. Turn it to 70 degrees. Turn the thermostat to 70 degrees." And Alexa's like, "Okay, I got it. 70 degrees. I'm done." One of the other things that I like about Amazon Alexa is the fact that I can order from it. If I'm out of paper towels, I can say, "Hey Alexa, order me some paper towels," and she'll place my order and tell me when it's going to arrive. Or I can say, hey, Alexa, order me some more laundry detergent. And this is the coolest thing that I think has ever happened, and I wished it was here, is the fact that I can say, Alexa, I want to go grocery shopping or, grocery shopping and say, Alexa, order me bananas, strawberries, peanut butter, chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream, a pound of hamburger meat, and a small package of chicken legs. And she'll order it, and Amazon will have it to your house. They ship your groceries straight to your house, exactly what you asked for. What? Yes. Yes. As soon as I'm able to get that here, because I already do that. I already get stuff delivered to my house that comes to my house with paper towels, toilet tissue, snacks, chips, crackers, cookies, laundry detergent, anything I need, I get it on Amazon because I do not like going to Walmart because, touching the buggies and everybody's sick and listening to people yell and cuss and stuff like that. I just, no. I order it from Amazon, and I am happy to do it. If you have not done Amazon Prime and went to Amazon Pantry and ordered your stuff, your groceries and stuff, man, it's awesome. It is awesome. I thoroughly enjoy that, guys. Oh, I thoroughly enjoy that. That is one of the best perks of my life, is being able to go through Amazon and order anything that I need from there. Hey, Phone Tech, what's up? Thank you so much for coming back. But yeah, I mean, man, and some people say, well, that's just lazier. That's just this. Look, when you order from Amazon Prime, I want to point this out. I shop at Sam's. I shop at Walmart, Albertsons, stuff like that, right? So let's say you need 130 paper plates, right? Okay, number one, it's 100 and something degrees where I live. So, it's bedtime. Okay, but it's 100 and something degrees where I live, right? So, I got to take a shower, get dressed, get everything, put everything on, hop in the car, drive about 30 minutes to town, try to find a parking spot, get the parking spot, go in, and then get what I need to get, and when I see it, and then I may get there and I may dilly-dally because I see, hey, they got this on sale. Oh, I need this or that or whatever. I get there, I put everything in my buggy. Okay. Then as I'm walking, they got samples out there or whatever. I'm like, whatever, I walk past that. Then this lady's over there sniffling and sneezing. This other dude's over here coughing and hacking. This kid's crying. This guy and this woman are having an argument about something. And then I have to go up to the register and I have to wait. Because, lo and behold, they got 10 checkouts and only 3 cashiers. I don't know why they do that, but they do that. You got 50 rows of registers, and you only got 5 people checking you out. So now I got to wait up there, and I got to wait with my buggy, and I got to wait. Then I got to load everything back up. Then I got to put everything in the car. Then I got to return the buggy. Then I got to get in the car. Then I got to drive all the way back. And this is gas money, by the way. So I got to drive all the way back home. Now I got to take it out. I'm already hot. I'm already sweating. I'm already irritated. I got to put everything up. And then I'm done. Okay? Now, that's just an example. Where, check this out. I stay in my PJs and my pajama pants with my shirt on. I fire up the computer. I go to Amazon Prime. got breakfast cooking, or I'm sipping on some juice, or I'm watching TV, and I'm going through there and I'm saying, oh, I need this, click. I need this, click. Yeah, let me get some of this, click. Okay, yeah, I like this. And I order all my stuff. It's in my shopping cart. One checkout, do that, hit the button, check out, shut the computer down, and go on about my business without having to worry about having to get ready, having to crank the car up, having to go out there, having to stand in that store, listen to everybody. I'm in the comfort of my own home. My packages show up 2 days later with everything that I ordered. Now, if I had the Amazon Fresh, which is the Amazon grocery store, I wouldn't worry about it. It would show up at my door the same day that I ordered it. The same day I would have my ice cream. I would have my fish. I would have my ribs or pork loin or whatever it was, my spices, my seasoning, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. I would have all that delivered to my door the same day. Same day. You know, so this is something that we could do during an off day. This is something that we would be able to not have to worry about having to spend our gas to go to town, because you know, if you live where I live, you have to get on interstate, then you have to drive to town. You have to worry about, because Sunday we almost did get hit because this lady was right here. We were coming down and she just started merging and she never checked up, so I had to hit the brakes and let her come on over because she did not see me. She almost hit me, and my wife and my mother-in-law was like, oh my God. And I was like, yep. You know, so that's another reason why I like Amazon, ordering from Amazon Pantry, and I wish they had Amazon Fresh, which is really cool. So you guys that live in the city, look at that. That's another tool that's really, really helpful, that's really, really awesome, I think. You know, and the fact that there is a service that you're able just to have whatever restaurant deliver to you whatever food you want is just phenomenal too. I really like that. I really like that idea a lot. You know, it's one of those things. Oh, it's just one of those things that I think is just the future. I think it's the way that the future is, and I think it's coming. And it will be really, really nice when I can tell Alexa, you know, to order me some fresh coleslaw or catfish from Johnny Sims or whatever restaurant that's a Catfish King, and she'll say, okay, ordering through Grubhub, here your catfish will be here in however many minutes, you know, or whatever. And I'm like, yes, you know. That's just one of the benefits that I see to assistance helping us, to things going automated, where the only thing that I have to worry about doing is going to work and coming home, and that's it. You know, and then on my off days, I can go to take a trip or whatever I want to do. I don't have to worry about anything. You know, I'm even up for the, what do they call that thing? Autopilot. For the autopilot driving like they have on Tesla cars. Man, that would be pimp, where I can get in my car and I can tell it, I want to go to Dallas, I want to go to Little Rock, I want to go to Shreveport, and this is where I want to go in Shreveport, and this is what I want to do, da-da-da. And the car says, okay, Mr. Ray, here we go. And that's it. I can do that. And it's cool. It's like having your own chauffeur or something, where every car knows the speed limit. Every car knows, you know, that the speed limit is 75, and every car is doing 75, and you're just sitting there enjoying the ride, not having to worry about, oh, look, this guy on a Kawasaki is fixing to run up my tailpipe, or this guy in this diesel truck is fixing to cut me off, or some dude's got road rage or something. Man, that'd be nice not to have to worry about those things. I mean, to think that even like your kids and stuff could get in the car and say, "Hey, take me to the movies. We're going to the movies." And the car says, "Okay, we're going to the movies. And what movie do you want to see?" And you're looking at the listing and watching the previews of the movies while you're driving up to the movies. And then when you see the movie that you want, you tell it, "Hey, Jaws 20 is playing tonight. I want to see tickets to that." And by the way, I hate Jaws. I'm not a fan of Jaws. Jaws trips me out, freaks me out. I don't like it. But that being said, you can buy the ticket while you're in the car, and it loads it up to your wallet that's on your watch, and you go up there and they scan your watch and you go watch your movie. Come on, man. How can you not be excited? I mean, okay, so we don't have flying cars. I give you that one. Everybody wants flying cars. I mean, Jetsons, right? I get that. But the technology that's being developed, the technology that's coming is so much more exciting than what I had, what a lot of us had growing up, when we were kids. When I was a kid back in the 80s, my grandparents probably didn't imagine having a VCR. My grandparents didn't imagine having a satellite dish that you got your TV from because they used an antenna. It's those things. So the future, I'm not scared about. I'm not scared of this technology. I'm actually excited for it because that means it will make my life a little easier. And everybody, I hear people say, "Well, what about manufacturing jobs? What about this job? What about that job?" I think you're still going to have manufacturing jobs because you have to have people to assemble the cars. You have to have people to do jobs. You have to. I'm sorry. I don't think that a robot cook is going to give me the same quality of food as a chef can. I don't think a robot mechanic is going to do as good a job as a human mechanic. Ooh, bedtime. I just don't feel that, there's certain things that AI is going to be good at, but the jobs are going to be there. They're just going to be different. You're going to need people that are going to be able to program. You're going to need people that are going to be able to do IT. You're going to need people that's going to be able to do internet security. You're going to need people that's going to be able to do networking. You're going to be able to have people that's going to be able to work on the internet, the fiber optic cable and whatever new cable that they got coming out, which will be lasers or something. You're going to have people for these jobs. So just like 100 years ago, people thought that the Pony Express would never go away, and then we have the U.S. Postal Service. Then everybody was like, well, the Postal Service ain't never going anywhere, and then we have email, and then people are like, well, email's not ever going away. Now everybody texts each other. Well, text is not going away, but now people face-to-face FaceTime each other. It's just a progression. And, my thing is don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let it scare you. Don't let it be something that you're like, that you're afraid of. Look at it and learn it and ask people to show you. If you don't know, ask. And if you can't find anybody to ask Google, ask Siri, ask Cortana, ask any of your assistants. Better yet, look it up on YouTube. There's so much information out there about new tech, about what's going on, about what's coming up. Not to be not to be scared about it. So, as man, I'm really so as I get ready to end the stream tonight, that's one of the things I want to leave you with is when we talk about tech, don't you know, don't argue about the hardware. Hardware is great. Hardware is awesome. But let's start really looking at the software side of it. Let's really start looking at what's being offered to us. Let's start looking at what's the best way on an ecosystem to move forward and what's best for you. So, with that being said, I would like to thank everybody for watching. I would like to thank Phone Tech at Work. I would like to thank Easy Computer Solutions. And I would like to thank all you guys watching. If you're new to the stream, if you're new to my channel, I do this every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I do a live stream like this where it's one-on-one and all I talk about is tech and technology. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, I do gaming. I game and I'll talk about and hang out with just whoever's in the stream and stuff like that. So if you want to come by when I'm gaming and you still want to talk tech and you want to talk about technology, hit me up in the chat. I will definitely talk technology with you. So if you see me doing a gaming video, don't hesitate to stop by. Don't think that just because I'm playing a video game, I can't talk about tech or I can't talk about anything else that's going on. Because Sunday I talk about my relationship with God. I talk about church. I talk about what we went over. So if you enjoy talking about Christianity and talking about church, you can join any one of my streams and talk about that. So I want to put that out there because I think, some people join and they see me on Tech Tuesday, and then when I'm streaming on Wednesday and Thursday and Saturday and Sunday, they're like, well, wait a minute, he was talking about Tech Tuesday. That's my thing. I will talk about anything in any of my streams. So don't feel like that you just have to join on Tech Tuesday when I'm specifically talking about tech. I will talk about tech anytime, every time, all the time, and I will talk about history. I will talk about cooking. I will talk about other aspects of my life that really interested me, that I'm really passionate about. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank Easy Computer Solutions. I want to thank Phone Tech at Work. I want to thank everybody that has helped me to get to 100 subscribers. And if you're not a part of the Tundra just yet, please hit that subscribe button, pound that like button, and as always, this is your boy Subzerojray saying peace, have a blessed night, and I'm out of here. I will see y'all tomorrow, guys.